Am I the asshole for stopping my cousin's marriage proposal? I, 27 female. Just got married to the love of my life, Jacob, 30 male, this past weekend. My cousin, Patrick, 34 male, has always been immature, selfish, and rudely forthright. For as long as I can remember, he has never failed to make birthday parties, not his own, holidays, and other occasions all about him. The adults in the family have always shown him favoritism, and this has over time spoiled and enabled him. A week before the wedding, he called to let me know that he was going to propose to his longtime girlfriend during the reception. This infuriated me, but I calmly asked him to not go through with it. When he asked why, I said that I did not want attention to be deviated away from me and my husband on our special day. This did not go over well, and soon after he began yelling at me. He even went as far as calling me a selfish bee and then hung up on me. Later that day, I received multiple angry phone calls from our parents, saying that I was being selfish and unreasonable. I explained to them that at the end of the day, it was my wedding day, and that it was my decision if I wanted the proposal to take place. This angered many, with some family members going as far as deciding not to attend. I assumed that Patrick was also going to make a no-show. But to my surprise, he texted me saying that he'd show up anyway. I knew that he was going to go against my wishes and carry on with the proposal. So, I concocted a plan and showed a picture of Patrick to the live band that I hired for the reception. I even paid them extra, with the request to start playing should Patrick ever try to make a speech. The day was finally here and Patrick arrived with his girlfriend and his parents. He was acting very cordial for once, but I was not fooled. After the maid of honor and best man speeches, I noticed Patrick getting up from his seat and making his way toward the stage. And just like that, the band started to play. I smiled, grabbed my husband, and rushed towards the dance floor. Everyone else joined in, and it looked as though Patrick's actions went unnoticed. He made 3 more attempts, which were shut down immediately with loud music. Some of the cousins even blocked his path, telling him to just cut it out. He looked more and more angry as the night progressed, and eventually grabbed his girlfriend's hand and stormed out of the venue. As I watched him leave, I laughed out loud, and had a blast for the rest of the night with family and friends. I woke up the next morning to more angry text messages and voicemails, which I ignored. I decided to not engage in the drama, and just enjoyed my honeymoon with my husband. So am I the asshole? Wow. I am positively overwhelmed with all of the kind responses. Sparkling heart, thank you so much to everyone who took the time to write a nice message. I'm trying to read every single one, but there's an overwhelming amount coming in right now, so I apologize if I can't answer every single question, but I will answer the most frequently asked ones. 1. I have decided to go no contact with Patrick and a few of the opposing family members. 2. He announced that he will be hosting an engagement party for his girlfriend. But that I am strictly uninvited to both the party and the wedding. I heard this secondhand from my parents. 3. Speaking of my parents, they were at first unsupportive of my decision with Patrick's proposal, but after seeing his behavior, decided to support me, and overall agreed with my decision. 4. Many asked why Patrick wasn't uninvited. I was planning on doing that at first. But after considerable thought, decided against it. Knowing my cousin, he would have made an even bigger scene and would have done something even more drastic, since that's what he does when people go up against him. He's a grown man that still throws tantrums, so I wanted to de-escalate the situation and cause minimal drama as possible. And the moment I thought up my plan, I was too excited to not execute it. 5. Many are asking why our family would overall excuse his behavior for so long. Well, it's unfortunately learned behavior since that side of the family is filled with a plethora of unsavory characters. I'm assuming that Patrick reminds a lot of the elders of themselves, which I wouldn't be surprised by. And I do think that explains why he's always been favored. He also excelled in every school subject, got the best grades and is now a very aggressive, very well-paid criminal defense lawyer. That side of our family values education and wealth above all else, so they've always excused his poor behavior. 6. Yes, the band was handsomely paid and tipped well. They are my husband's friends and we are also planning on treating them to dinner next week as an extra thank you. I hope this answered your questions. Thank you again for all the kind and congratulatory responses. #NotTheAsshole. I applaud the creative counterattack as well. Your day. All day. You have some nightmare people in your family as well if they took his side, and some downright didn't attend. Live your life with your new spouse happily and in good health. Their bullshit is theirs to deal with. Not you. Nope. Not the asshole at all. You cockblocked him in such a way that it was discreet yet efficient. It was subtle and classy. Well done, hands clapping. You, ma'am, are a certified genius. Have my not the asshole with pleasure, you deserve it grin. That's pretty funny. Not the asshole and you are a genius. You're right, it's your wedding and therefore the day should be all about you and your husband. I take it that all of the cousins are sick of Patrick's crap just as much as you are? That's why they blocked his path a few times? Am I the asshole for not accepting my friend's new girlfriend? My 43 female husband's best friend, 42 male, who is also my friend of 17 years, recently cheated on his fiancée. They were together for 5 years and she's a lovely girl. We all got on really well and she's the nicest girl he's ever dated in 17 years. I have no idea what their relationship was like at home. I know they were going through a rough patch with a lot of life things not going right for them, but she adored him and he acted like he adored her. This has changed after the breakup. She's not said a bad word about him though he has plenty of bad things to say about her now. It recently came out that he was having an affair for 6–12 months. I'm not 100% sure, but it was at least 6. His fiancée called me to let me know they were breaking up and she was devastated. Her cries were so heartbreaking they made me sick. She moved out and went to stay with her brother. 3 weeks later our friend called my husband to let him know he was bringing his affair partner over to meet us. I said no. He said they're in love, but I told him that there was no way that woman was welcome in my home. He can do whatever he wants, but I refused to let him replace his fiancée like that. If they are still seeing each other in 6 months I will allow it since she's clearly going to be involved in his life, but I won't be friends with her. My husband said I'm putting him in a hard place with his friend, but I don't care. He may have been our friend first, but she was in our lives for 5 years, she was our friend too. I can't in good conscience let this woman, who knew he was engaged, over to my home like nothing happened. I respect his ex-fiancée too much to erase her like he has and accept the woman who knew he was getting married and she still had a relationship with him. I'm not happy with my friend either, but after I tore shreds off him I have accepted my husband will always be best friends with him. I can barely look at him lately. I feel like I could be the asshole because a few of my friends have said I'm being too harsh and that you can't help who you fall for. I've also been told it's not my business. A few other friends are on my side and said people that allow this just condone cheating. I also think I could be the asshole because my friend says I should be supporting him and his happiness. He's upset with me, but I can't support this relationship. He said my opinion is too black and white and that AITA. He's right, it is black and white. He cheated, which is gut-wrenching, and I believe there's no excuse. He's devastated a girl and says he didn't mean to hurt her. I don't believe him. Too long did not read. Am I the asshole for not allowing my friend's affair partner to be involved in our lives for a while after he cheated on his fiancée? Edit. My husband was just as shocked at his friend's audacity. I didn't reflect that in my post. He thinks what he's done is disgusting, but he's struggling with this man being his best friend of almost 20 years. He's also said he believes his isn't the first time he's cheated on a partner, but has never asked his friend directly. My husband agrees with me on not letting his affair partner over and has also asked for space. His friend is angry about this and think my husband is a disloyal friend, which is hilarious. They've kept peace about it for now and he won't be visiting us anytime soon. I'm mostly shocked at how these two people have no shame about what they've done. It's been 2 weeks since he initially asked to bring her over and they are already posting all over social media. I'm glad there's others who wouldn't stand for this behavior in the world. I'm also shocked at some of my friends and family that aren't fazed by it. Thank you. Not the asshole. I don't respect cheaters and I'd be worried about my husband is so easy to morally accept and welcome. Cheater beware. Less than you can't help who you fall for. That's absolutely true. But you definitely can help how you deal with it. He chose to cheat. His new girlfriend chose to be with a cheater. And chooses to go LC with the cheater, NC not possible because of husband's choices, and to not wanting to get to know her. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Achievement unlocked. Self-respect. There's no way your husband didn't already know about the other woman. Not the asshole. It's okay to say it's just too soon. Am I the asshole for not disclosing my tubal ligation to my in-laws? I, 37F, have been with my partner, 35M, for 6 years. We are both career and travel driven, and have had many frank and open conversations throughout our relationship on whether or not we want to bring children into the world. We have decided that we don't, but would love to open our home to children or adults who need a place to call home in the future when we are in a more solid place financially. We're doing okay now, but have not committed to buying a house yet because we are still traveling here and there. I've met his parents a few times and we FaceTime every few weeks. They live in a different country far, far away. And they are lovely, genuine people. They have said from the get-go that all they want is for their son to be happy and healthy, and that they respect our decision to not have biological children. They have never once spoken about our decision negatively or pressured me in any way, and I love them for this. Fast forward to last month. One of the aunties was being nosy, and maybe a bit inebriated, in the family chat, and kept pushing the subject of, when are you going to make some babies? I tried to brush it off with the usual, haha not in this lifetime, kind of generic responses, but she wouldn't let it go. I eventually stopped responding in the group chat but sent her a private message the next day, and told her that I'd had a tubal ligation some years ago, so with all due respect please stop pushing the subject. Apparently this factoid spread like wildfire among the family, and it came back to me that my partner's parents were upset because we'd never told them about my tubal ligation. Just that we didn't want biological children, and now they feel like they've been lied to? While I understand hearing something like this about your DIL from an aunt might be off-putting, I don't see how we've deceived them in any way. The only thing that's changed is their perception of me from chance of falling pregnant accidentally to almost 100% won't fall pregnant. To add, I decided in my 20s that I didn't want bio-children, and had been thinking of getting TL for many years before I met my partner. He was fully supportive of my feelings from the start, and fully supportive of my decision to finally get one 2 years ago. Edit to add. Cause lots of people questioning giving nosy aunt that information. If I wanted to keep it a secret, I would not have told the aunt. I messaged her privately because it didn't seem like something to throw into a family group chat and possibly embarrass her. I don't mind that everyone knows, it just never came up in conversation with the in-laws in the past, and I'm just surprised by the response. Also, one commenter brought up that my in-laws may be grieving. I hadn't really thought of it that way, but I can see why this might feel like a loss to them, whether it's loss of a potential, hypothetical bio-grandchild, or loss of control, not that they had control in the first place per se, but I guess now any hope they may have had are completely dashed. Not the asshole, you aren't obligated to disclose that to anyone. It's also odd that they would be shocked at this particular fact when they know you don't intend to have kids. Not the asshole. You don't owe your in-laws your medical history. You told them your choice on children, that was enough. Shame on the auntie for disclosing this private information to others. Not the asshole. Why would you have just tossed that out in casual conversation with your in-laws? Why would you have detailed your medical history to them during one of the handful of visits you've had? Their expectations quite simply do not make sense. Besides, the state of your reproductive organs is none of their business. And for bonus points, it has literally zero impact on them. You told them you weren't going to have any babies, who cares how you do that? If they refuse to take you at your word and cling to false hope, a hope you most certainly didn't give them, that's on them. Not the asshole. It's not deceptive to not disclose your medical history to your in-laws. You don't owe them that info. It's your business. You already said you don't want kids, it's not like you were lying about that. Your aunt is TA for pushing and pushing and pushing in the family chat, so you basically felt the need to disclose this very private information with her, in a private message. And then she spread it like wildfire. You always honestly told them you weren't going to have any kids. They are upset because they never believed you. That's on them, not on you. Not the asshole. Am I the asshole for refusing to cover my scars in front of my sister's kids? So I, 23 female, have always struggled with my mental health. It was particularly bad when I was a teenager that left me with noticeable scars. I used to be insecure about them, but I have learned to accept them as a part of my body and don't hide them anymore. Getting into the actual story, my mom threw a pool party. My sister, 26 female, came with her husband, 35 male, and their 2 kids, 5 female, 3 male. I want to preface this by saying my sis knows all about my mental health struggles. I was wearing a bikini and splashing in the pool, playing with my niece before getting out. That's when my sis came out and asked to talk to me. She asked me if I would change into shorts and t-shirt. I was confused and asked why and told her I didn't bring extra clothes. She told me she didn't want her kids exposed to my scars and that it was inappropriate for me to have them uncovered in public. I was blown away by this as she has never said anything like this before and knows all about my journey in becoming comfortable in my skin. I asked her to elaborate what she meant, and she told me she thinks my scars will give her kids the wrong idea and disturb them, and that she wasn't going to argue with me about it. She then offered to give me clothes to borrow. This is when I raised my voice and started tearing up as I told her I can't believe she would ask me that, and I went inside to leave. On my way out, my mom asked me what was wrong. I just told her to ask my sis and left. Once I got home, I checked my phone and had missed calls from my mom and messages from my sis basically saying she didn't mean to upset me but needed to protect her kids first and that I should understand. She also told me to keep our conversation private. I decided to call my mom where I told her what happened, and to my surprise, my mom agreed with my sis. She said she understands why I am upset, but I needed to understand my sister's point of view too and how hard it would be for my sis to have to explain to my niece and nephew what my scars are and why I have them. This all happened yesterday, and it seems my whole immediate family knows about this situation. My dad has stayed indifferent on it while my younger brother, 19, thinks what my sis said is messed up. I have gotten messages from my sister's husband saying that I should have just changed and kept this all to myself and that I put my sis in an uncomfortable position, and he strongly implied I do things for attention. I feel very conflicted on all of this. On one side I feel right in my refusal to change as I have put way too much work into feeling comfortable in my body, and people have scars for all kinds of reason. Why should mine be any different? But at the same time, I think maybe I overreacted and should try harder to understand my sister's side. I don't have kids, so I don't know how hard it would be to have to explain something like that to them. I am just really confused about where this all came from. I just need an outside and unbiased point of view, so please let me know what you all think. Not the asshole. If the kids aren't showing signs of being uncomfortable, then why should they? If they ask, then all you would have to say was, I was in an accident. Period. What's the difference between your scars and someone in a wheelchair, or someone missing a leg or arm? Seriously, your sis needs to grow up. Not the asshole. I have lot of scars on my arms due to self-harm. I previously worked with kids and most of them didn't even bat an eye or ask anything. Those who did ask, I just told them, when I was younger, I was very ill and it left me with scars. That's it. Even scars you've caused yourself are just that, scars. Kids will see them no matter how much clothes you have on. Not the asshole. It's not that hard to tell kids you got them in a sword fight or something until they're old enough to understand. Not the asshole they don't want you to tell because there are assholes. Especially your sister and mother. Why did a 30-year-old have kids with a 21-year-old?